We say how you do anything is how you do everything, and again, if you have high standards for yourself, generally you're going to do that in every phase of your life.
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Save, borrow, and invest with Farmers. Take heart knowing you're helping create a strong community. Mind your money at Farmers. Talk directly to local decision makers about your loans, investments, and insurance. Farmers. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal.
At what age were you first a head coach?
26.
Ooh,
Yeah.
26.
Yeah.
And who were you taking over for?
It was actually a little chaotic situation before I got here. Bonnie Ray was the coach. She had gotten ill and had passed away, and they had an interim head coach who did not have her master's degree, so she couldn't become the head coach, and so it was a search, and I was fortunate enough to be able to get the position.
How times change. When I interviewed for the Youngstown State job in 1986, December of 85, it was mandatory that you have a master's. Now, I'm not sure that's the case right now in Division I athletics. It might still be in Division III, but so you got the job. What was task one to start building this amazing team you've built?
Finding the right people, and when I say right people, it wasn't just the most talented. I really started to look for people who had a competitive edge, a work ethic, and who were great teammates. And we've been pretty much that same way ever since. We have two non-negotiables. You have to be a great teammate, and you have to be super competitive to actually be on a recruiting list, besides being a talented
And I
athlete.
think you have to be a pretty good student.
Yeah, that goes. And we have a saying, how you do anything is how you do everything. Normally, a student who's a really good student doesn't cut corners, and then they don't do, they do the same thing on the basketball court. They're going to be attention to detail, and they're going to try to do things the right way and have high standards for themselves, just like they do in the classroom. So we generally, unless they're 3.5 or above, we generally, even though something lower than that might get into BW, we don't go there.
So turn to that camera and give that thought again about how you do anything.
Yeah, we say how you do anything is how you do everything. And again, if you have high standards for yourself, generally you're going to do that in every phase of your life.
No question. And what a great reminder. I've heard that concept. I've never heard that exact line. How you do anything is how you do everything. Sometimes, as I was a coach, that was a tough conversation with some of our guys. They all thought they were going to the NFL and so forth, and why do I have to, take biology or, whatever. And we didn't use your line, but we said, you know what? Why can't you be the best student you can be? You want to be the best player. You want to get a C? That's like us being 6 and 5.
Exactly.
So we want to be undefeated. So don't you want to get an A? And that conversation, we had to have a lot, but you know what? They ended up appreciating it because, all of a sudden they got that interest in being good at every stage, whether it's out doing community service, be the best, pay attention. Don't just, be there. Yep. Make a difference and make a difference in the classroom.
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Save, borrow, and invest with Farmers. Take heart knowing you're helping create a strong community. Mind your money at Farmers. Talk directly to local decision makers about your loans, investments, and insurance. Farmers. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal.